Hey everybody, welcome back to Starfyre Gaming. Excuse me, my throat is a little scratchy this morning. I am Sir Joseph, and this is Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. We are headed to Kenabres to do Camilla's side quest. As you see down here, everybody is a little fatigued, so we are going to go ahead and do a camp.
Sometimes I worry that demons could take advantage of my inexperience. I know nothing of life. I am ill prepared for the temptations they might offer me. Will you tell me about them?
Don't think about it. You have a pure heart, it won't lead you astray.
I'm not sure how pure her heart is, but hey. All right, so let's look at our armies. Champions we got to pull out. They only have, they don't have a high AC. They got low stats. Okay, so we already got those guys in there. Oh, they're out of. They cannot move. They cannot move. These little low-level marksmen can move a little bit. But they're out of movement points. All right, so back to the party. All right. Worm's Banner. There are people here. What did she need us to do in here? What was the light within? Intercept the demon army. Yep. Okay. Alright, so I guess we're just looking around. Oh, here comes the servant. Lady Camilla, waking home. Welcome home. We've been expecting you. Camilla looks at the servant for a few moments, bemused. You have been expecting me? Indeed, my lady. Lord Gwyrm ordered that you be sent to him as soon as you arrived. The commander is permitted to follow you, but I must ask that your other companions to wait here. Refreshments will be served. Camilla, what's going on here? How curious. Horgus is here and waiting for me. But how did he know? Forgive me for being unable to answer your question, my lady, but those were the precise instructions I received from Lord Gwyrm this morning. Camilla, do you know this man? I've never set eyes on him before. I took up positions here recently. I was hired specifically to serve Lord Gwyrm at his mansion in Kenabres. Why can't my companions come too? Lord Gwyrm was most specific in his request, and I am afraid I cannot speak for his reasons. I can only assume that the conversation will be of a most delicate nature. Please, my friend, let's acquiesce to Horgus's request. I don't wish to make a scene before I fully understand what's going on here. I see you managed to fully repair the mansion after the demonic invasion. Indeed we have. Fortunately, the mansion is almost was almost unharmed. Many items survived the attack, and Lord Gwyrm was able to find comparable replacements for those that didn't. Fine. So where should we look for Horgus? Lord Gwyrm must be somewhere upstairs. He bid me to say the Lady Camilla will have no trouble finding him. Please do come in. Camilla strokes her chin pensively. Was not expecting this. Thought the mansion would be empty, picked to the bone by marauders if it was standing at all. But seeing it fully restored and inhabited... Camilla narrows her eyes at you. Well, it would be extremely impolite to keep our host waiting, wouldn't it, my friend? Let's go and have a chat with Daddy Dearest. Yeah, something's going on, that's for sure. Ah, this is the room of my first mentor. I said upstairs, so I guess we'll go upstairs. Oh, gotta wait for Blue. So we gotta take Blue with us. Lady Camilla, your room is ready.
Let us be off.
Gwyrm is expecting you. Lady Camilla, we've been expecting you. We are sure to find Horgus in a secret study. Camilla licks her parched lips. Before we enter, I should ask you one question, if you don't mind. You know our family's history better than anyone else in the world. Tell me, what do you think of Horgus as a father? I'm kind of falling towards he's not the best, but not the worst either. I'm sure he tried his best. Hmm. So that's what you think. Camillia's gaze wanders the room, never resting on anything in particular. Why are you asking? No special reason. Camillia turns her distracted gaze on you. Just want to know your opinion of my father before we met him face to face. Well, hello, father. Horgus raises his head and stares vacantly at his daughter for several moments. Then he nods and drains the goblet before him in a single huge gulp. You can smell the sour reek of stale alcohol in the air. So, Camillia, so you finally came home, and you even dragged the commander along. I suspected that you wouldn't come here alone. You know, I've been wondering when you would finally show your face here. Haven't I always taught you that it's extremely impolite to be late for an appointment? Camilla wrinkles her nose in disgust. Papa, you stink. I believe you'll forgive me this weakness under the circumstances. And if you don't, you can always leave. I won't stop you. The door is right over there. Horgus chuckles bitterly and refills the goblet. Horgus, you were expecting us? This isn't a chance meeting. It was not you I was expecting, although I thought you might put in an appearance. No, I was waiting for Camillia. Some time ago I received a letter from my beloved daughter, in which she invited me to meet her here at my mansion in Kenabres. I came as quickly as I could. I've been here for several days now, waiting for my dearest daughter to arrive. Horgus frowns at you, examining your face. Don't tell me you knew nothing about this meeting. Could it be my sweet girl has you wrapped around her little finger? That she tricked you into coming here to watch the spectacle unfold? The little minx. He gesticulates wildly, spilling half the contents of his goblet on the floor. What did you do after I left for the abyss? I left Dresden as soon as the Queen took hold of the reins of government. Of course, I highly respect our dear Galfrey, but it was you I had followed to the crusade, not her. For whatever reason, I do not believe our Queen will succeed in her attempt to defeat the wound. So I moved to Nerosian while my mission in while my mansion in Kenabres was under renovation. Horgus turns his eyes on Camillia and shrugs. But none of that matters anymore, does it? I came here to help Camillia talk to the spirits. I didn't expect to meet you here. Surprised, were you? Hmm. As for me, I knew the moment I received her letter why she wanted to meet with me. She wants to talk about the spirits, does she? How can she have spent so much time How can you have spent so much time with my talented daughter without realizing that whenever Camilla wishes to talk to a spirit, it always involves, Horgus gulps, murder. I have no idea what kind of spirit she has in that bone trinket, but why would it want so much blood? Horgus takes a gulp from his goblet and immediately refills it again. You do know that Camilla killed 5 people while she lived under this roof, don't you? Her first mentor, the old Varsirian woman, then 4 more. Well, they were thugs, bandits, and murderers. They had it coming, to tell the truth. They broke into this mansion seeking to rob us. That's Kenabres for you. A border city with all kinds of riffraff lurking about. My guards caught them, tied them up, and tossed them in the cellar. They never reported the break-in to the authorities. Why bother? Those thugs would have been executed anyway. Horan always made short shrift of such rabble. Hick. Horgus belches noisily. But the things Camilla did to them down in that cellar, I never saw it myself. I only heard it. And then later, when I buried the corpses, I felt relieved that I was not in their place. Ha 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 ha. Camillia remains silent. Only the sound of her labored breathing indicates that she's still there. Why did you condone Camillia's inclinations? Why did you protect her secret? Why did you cover up the murders? Horgus strengthened his back proudly. Camillia is the daughter of Horgus Gwyrm, a true daughter, my blood, though I may have concealed that fact from society. Yes, she is special, unusual, very sensitive to the word around her. Whose fault it is that that damn spirit drove her insane? I know nothing about spirits. I've never talked to them myself. But Camillia, she is naturally gifted. She understands them. She says we have a chance to learn how to close the world wound once and for all. The end justifies the means, doesn't it, Commander? What is a father to do? Horgus sighs heavily. His shoulders slump as if weighed down by a burden he has been carrying for many years. The bloodline of Horgus Gwyrm cannot be broken, and I have no other heirs. Move. Cat almost fell on the floor. Camillia, what's going on here? She remains silent. You can't see her face, but you hear her breathing, shallow and fast. Her shoulders are rising and falling jerkily, and her right hand is trembling. Camillia, explain. Camillia jolts slightly and turns to you. Her eyes seem to look right through you. Her lips are parted. Her rasping breath reminds you of an animal's growl. Her right hand clutches a thin stiletto that seems to have come out of nowhere. Isn't it obvious? Horgus stands up heavily from the table and approaches his daughter, stumbling a little. She has finally come to take my life. I've been waiting for this moment since the day it all began. I knew it would come. Of course, I had hoped that Camillia would placate her spirit somehow, or perhaps that the commander would close the world wound and put an end to all these sacrifices. But it's too late for that now. I am ready to die. My whole life is a lie. It does not even feel like mine, but someone else's. I did everything I could to ensure the name of Horgus Gwyrm would not go down in history and his bloodline live on. I've had to lie and cover up crimes along the way. Well, the time has come to pay the piper, and if my death helps uncover the secret of closing the world wound, well, it's not the worst way to go. Horgus gulps. But before you do what you came here to do, Camillia, let me reveal my final secret to you. Camillia's voice sounds alien and unfamiliar. It is hoarse and a low, like gravel crunching underfoot. Talk. Your mother Iris generally loved you, Camillia. But after she saw how you killed that pup in the garden, she started to worry about you. It was she who insisted on the doctors and the psychics and the exorcists. They all examined you, but nothing helped. You kept killing animals, neighboring cats, stray dogs. You told us stories about the spirits who whispered in your ear. Iris didn't believe you really had a special ability to communicate with the spirits. She didn't think you were gifted, but I did. As if a daughter of Horgus Gwyrm could be no more than a lunatic. Several years passed like that. Several very grueling years, for Iris more than myself. And then one night, Horgus swallows a lump in her throat. I entered your room and saw Iris leaning over your bed with a pillow in her hand. I pushed her away from you. It was dark. Iris stumbled, and then she hit her head on the corner of the cabinet. I buried her in the garden and planted a flower bed of camellias over her grave. I thank the gods that you remembered nothing of that horrible night. Now you know everything, Camillia. Did you kill Camillia's mother? Horgus sighs. It was an accident, but I was prepared to do it, and I would do the same again if I had to. The bloodline of Horgus Gwyrm cannot be broken. Forgive me, Camillia. Forgive me for keeping you locked away. Forgive me for never acknowledging you as my daughter. Forgive me for depriving you of your mother and never being able to replace her. Now I have said everything. I'm ready. You you killed my mother, and you decided to tell me that now? Camillia whispers sounds like a hissing of a venomous snake. Why? To unburden your soul? To show me how you protected me back then? Maybe you're hoping I'll hesitate before I stab you in your disgusting heart? Or are you trying to make me weep for my mother, the innocent victim? Well, I don't give a damn about her. The bitch wanted me dead and she failed. Good riddance, I say. And I don't give a damn about you either, Horgus Worm. I don't care about your bloodline or about any excuses you can come up with. Do you really think that I couldn't have escaped your mansion if I'd wanted to? You never acknowledged me as your daughter. 'Twas no skin off my nose. You wanted to marry a noble woman to continue the Gwyrm line. Well, that was your own affair. You provided for me and didn't try to stop me communing with the spirits. I never wanted anything more from you. But now I don't need you anymore. I have Joseph Starfyre who will protect me and hide me from justice if it comes for me. As for you, you were just garbage left over from a former life, and it's time to dispose of you. The stiletto trembles in Camillia's hand. She grips the handle so tight her knuckles turn white. Camillia, stop! She turns her clouded gaze to you. The spirits crave his blood. I crave his blood. Together we have sealed his fate. You shouldn't kill him, no matter what he's done. He is still your father. The stiletto in Camillia's hand flies up and freezes in front of Gwyrm's heart. A moment passes, then another. Finally, Camillia exhales loudly and lowers her weapon. Leave. Get out of my life, Horgus Gwyrm. Horgus opens his mouth to say something, but immediately shuts it without saying a single word. He lingers for a moment, then nods briefly and leaves. It's all over now. I have rid myself of my past. I suppose I should feel happy. Why do I feel so tired? Camillia gets to her feet and smooths her tousled hair. It was all over too quickly, don't you agree, my friend? As if something was missing. It's like having sex without climaxing. The end result is naught but exhaustion. Let's have some fun, shall we? Why didn't you tell me Horgus would be waiting for us in Kenabres? Camillia shrugs, a trifle confused. I just didn't. Perhaps I wanted to surprise you, or perhaps I was worried you'd try to talk me out of it. So you're ready to talk to Myria yet? No, not quite yet. But don't worry, I shall be soon. Just one last step. One final drop. Did Myria really crave Horgus's blood, or was it you who wanted it? Camille's gaze sharpens for a moment, but she quickly relaxes. Yes, and yes. Myria and I are one. Her desires are my desires. We've become quite inseparable at this point. What did you have in mind? Camille's voice drops to a conspiratorial whisper. I want to make up for some lost time. To let loose like never before. To celebrate my ultimate liberation. There are an awful lot of servants at this mansion. Let's gather them all up in the garden and feed Myra with their blood. You and I. What do you say? I have never done this with another person before. Until now, you have only been an observer. And I want my first time to be with you, my friend. Camillia, stop. You have killed enough. An arrogant expression emerges on Camillia's face. What right do you have to tell me what to do? I did not break free of Horgus's tyranny only to surrender to yours. I am free now, and I shall do as I please. Besides, it is Myra's will. A paltry 10 servants, and we shall be able to get through to her at last. The price is reasonable. Camillia, I forbid you to kill innocent people. Ignore my order and you'll regret it. You dare to give me an order? On your crusade, I saw nothing but rules and regulations. You know what? Screw you. Die, you son of a bitch.
We
Save the
will
last
be
one for me.
victorious.
I kind of saw that coming.
Forward! We won't falter!
This pain is excruciating.
Everything's everything I gave her except the bone amulet. All right,
Let's move.
head out. Might be some difficulty with Horgus. Is the quest done? Yep, quest is done since she's dead. It's this way. Where are my buddies? Just have to exit and be with them. Yep, there they are. All right, we are done with that. Well, we're going to have a lot of talking once we get back to Dresden, so... Oh, we can't do it inside the city, evidently. Yeah, there's no gate back there. That's 2 companions that have been killed. One was Wendagu, Windwog. Studying unusual crystal. The crystal the commander came upon holds many mysteries. Experts may be able to shed light on it. Recruitment growth is 0. Did it say 0 on those? Get back here, mouse. It's got numbers, except for the hardened veterans. But it doesn't let you click on them, so... Alright, talking time. Gismera looks the same as before, but far more weary. So it is true. The commander has returned from the dead. We've heard all manner of rumors, but we did not know what to believe, so I came here myself to make sure it was true and not another trick of the demons. What's the news from Winter Sun? I thought time would heal Winter Sun, but it hasn't been easy. People gradually returned to their lives, but the mere sight of their homeland brought back memories of the atrocities. This is why, when the demons returned, we didn't fight the way we should have. What will you do now? We will leave in search of a better life. The place we called home all these centuries no longer accepts us. There were too many ghosts there, too many memories. Gesmira says, I don't know where we'll go, but I pray to the spirits that the new place will accept us. Farewell, Gesmira. Farewell, Commander. May the spirits watch over you. I hope our paths will cross again someday. Lady Konami's voice is brimming with satisfaction. Commander, I bring wonderful news. We are getting reports from all the regions of Mendev that the nationwide political crisis has been resolved. The military detachments you sent across the regions have restored order and suppressed the emerging riots. The entire country is impressed with how you managed to hold the demons back without reinforcements. I believe it's fair to say that at this moment, Commander, your word carries the greatest weight in Mendev politics. You could use this influence to accomplish something monumental. For example, you could organize a total military mobilization across the kingdom. What will you do with your newfound power? We need to remind Mendevians that the gods care for us. They give us strength and the wisdom to save the kingdom. Let the people go to the temples, praise them, make donations, and pray. In dark times, we need all the faith we can muster. In many lands, the temples collect tithes. I have a fresh idea. Why don't we turn things around and tax the temples? We'll call it the tax of the righteous. And tell them that the more pious the temple and its congregation, the more coins will be collected. We will just have to see what wins, faith or greed. Someone must take care of Mendev. The old mayor can't survive another wild ride like that. Maybe we should hold elections for the members of the royal court. Finally, let those who are worthy run the country, no matter their social class or wealth. Equal rights for tieflings. Woljif's hands on his hips, stares boldly at those around him. It's time to stop the oppression of our noble people by Mendevian society. Tales are no reason for persecution. Let's listen to the council's opinions. As you wish, Commander. Your advisors have proven their diplomatic and political acumen. Soziel, Mendevians have honored the gods before, haven't they? Was it not enough? It was enough, which is why the gods did not let Mendev fall. But when adversity passes, people breathe a sigh of relief, and then they leave the temples. It's just how it goes. However, even though the crisis in Mendev is behind us, our war rages on. We need to remind everybody that the most terrible evil hasn't yet been defeated, and to unite them around spiritual power instead of worldly authority as before. Are you sure there's no one in Mendev more in need of the respect than the gods? No one at all? Or are the gods like the most downtrodden bunch? Is that why you worry about them so much? Darian, is this really a time for new taxes? Temple taxes, no less? Normally, you would never get away with anything like that. But now, with the end of the crusade in sight, no one will want to defy you. So we'll kill two birds with one stone. Find the new source of funding that we desperately need, and have a grand old time watching the priests being torn between the urge to appeal holier than everyone else and the desire to pay less. You're like a child. For the sake of joy you find humorous, you're advising the commander to go against faith, the only solace people have left in this war-torn land. No matter how much money we get from Mendev, we'll have to spend it all on personal guards for the crowd, or the crowd will promptly hang us, and the tallest branch will go to Count Arendelle in recognition of his irrefutable wisdom. Lan, what was this? What was that about an election? Right now, Mendev is a smoldering ruin, a realm of devastation whose only riches are patriotism and corpses. We need to save it before it's too late, and we should start with those in charge. We've had enough haughty bureaucrats lining the pockets and nobles believing themselves superior to others because of their lineage. It would be nice if the Royal Council was comprised of those who deserved it, with no regard to family ties, connections, or purse size. The mongrels chose the smartest, bravest, most experienced one among them to be their chief. Maybe the Uplanders could learn this trick, or are they too civilized for it? A spark of worry flashes in Lady Konami's eyes. Is this a good time for reforms of such magnitude? There have been enough disturbance in Mendev already. Woljif, explain your point about tieflings and their rights. Woljif speaks loud and surprisingly fluent, as if he has rehearsed it many times. We all know about the rampant oppression of tieflings in Mendev. It's like we are the demons here. We get no freedom, no respect, only humiliation and wallops. Gotta lock horns with the horned ones, am I right? And what about rights? Oh, we've got those. The right to pay taxes, the right to serve in the army. Is that fair? No. Should you feel ashamed? Hell yes. And if folks treated us nicely, you think that we wouldn't show our gratitude? We're not just thieves, you know. We're merchants, guards, lawyers. I mean, clerics, paladins, mages. And if Mendev allowed their conscience, or followed their conscience, you think we tieflings wouldn't repay for that kindness? Well, we would repay. There, I said it. Woljif thumps his chest in excitement. In the ensuing silence, it feels like Darian's whisper can be heard by everyone in Dresden. Someone, please tell that tiefling that tieflings already have all the rights of Mendev's subjects. Or don't, actually. It's funnier this way. Now don't you go making a sucker out of me, alright? You know we don't understand. You think we don't understand that it's one thing to have those rights on paper that everyone can wipe their bottom with, but to have them for real, that's a whole different story. I would guess that people have no love for you and your tiefling pals, not because of your race, but because you're thieves and crooks to the bone. But don't mind me, who am I to talk? Just some one-horned half-lizard who doesn't know what it's like to be judged by your ancestry. Lady Konami, is there anyone left in Mendev who could be mobilized? There is, rest assured. If everyone was here already, Mendev would have died of famine. But I'm not just talking about people. There are horses who could be commandeered for the needs of the army, tools that could be reforged into weapons, apothecary stocks, services provided by craftsmen, builders, spellcasters. Many can serve the army in many ways, not necessarily by enlisting. We took their sons and daughters, took their gold, took their bread. Now we're taking their horses? I think we should also take their sticks and rocks, or they'll beat us to death with them soon enough. I'm ready to make my decision. All right, let's see what we get out of these. Glorification of God's decree. Judgment Day spell. It's Judgment Day spell. Damage to all enemies. Restores hit points to all units. That's kind of cool. Tax the righteous. Cost of building constructed reduced by 50%. Well, that's not a bad thing either. Elections. Cost recruiting mercenary units reduced by 10%. Tiefling's rights. Recruitment growth for mythic units increased by 15%. Energy income. Mobilization. Cost recruiting trainable units is reduced by 10%. Well, I like both that one and the Tiefling one. I think I'm going to go with the Tiefling one, though. Congratulations, Woljif. Tieflings will be granted equal rights. Woljif cries once again, fill the room. All hail the chief. Our brethren will never forget this, you'll see. There are a lot of decent tieflings in Avestan who are being victimized because of their heritage. Once they hear folks stopped treating them like dirt here in Mendev, this place will be packed with them. In a lower voice, he mutters. And then we'll see who's going to spit on who. Lady Konami bows respectively. When first we met, I allowed my eyes to deceive me. I failed to discern within you an understanding politician. You knew nothing of diplomacy. You were unaware of the power, structure, and Erosian and beyond. But you were driven by your uncanny intuition, and with it you have saved Mendev and strengthened our ties with foreign allies. You have my respect. I wasn't a diplomat before this war, and I haven't become one now. But I think I'm beginning to understand politicians and their actions better. And I am convinced that the key is never to forsake your conscience. I don't think we have. I must admit, these council meetings weren't the worst moments of my life. They were almost entertaining. It seems you have the ability to make everyone more interesting, be it waging war or hosting ambassadors. And I, like a true son of Mendev, took part in deciding its fate. We shall see if prosperity will curse us for it or sing our praises. I can't imagine ever becoming a proper diplomat. All this political skullduggery makes my hand reach for my bow. And I was this close to going down in history as Land the shooting ambassador. But I'm impressed with how slick you were dealing with the intrigue and weaving a web of your own. Looks like politics isn't such a big deal after all. It's just like the gangs on the streets, apart from cursing. Maybe I should be a diplomat after the war. It's been an honor and a pleasure to advise you, Commander. However, I don't think you will need my counsel from here on out. Mendev stands strong, our allies are loyal and reliable. The diplomatic council has served its purpose. You don't need it any longer. All right. Okay, let's head back out. Soziel. Take the main gang. All right, let's look at our journal real quick. Let's see. Cascade of Fire. Find Find Captain Skellid. Oh, we want to go to that dragon. Dawn of Dragons. That's where we wanted to go next. Or we should maybe try to intercept the demon army. Durian's thing and Land's thing. Alright, let's see here. Mains of a Disgusting Feast. There's something to check out up there. Got the prisons. Trap for the Other. All of this stuff over here. Legacy of Ancients. That's a puzzle thing. Peruala Falls. Got this. Let's go do the Broken Horse Cart. Enemies. Big demon. Oh, these guys are not in the proper order. Let's fix that so I don't forget.
I will prove my worth. I will
Yet
resist!
another obstacle.
Prepare yourself!
Ah, dang it. Blue. Why is Blue a villain? Bad guy.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
Desna, guide my hand!
All right. Regular daggers. All right, let's head out. Nenyo is carrying too much. We got to rest here. I knew it was close to resting time.
Setting aside the aesthetic pleasure of beholding paintings, what practical purpose do they serve?
What makes you think that aesthetics isn't practical? Beauty commands attention and can convey ideas that would go unnoticed otherwise. And also, paintings can cover an unsightly spot on a wall.
Lightning storm. Want to avoid those. Oh, yep. Collect those. Next door theater troupe proudly reports that work on the new play is complete. They're now awaiting the commander. See, Bastion to Fortress. Vicious Debutante. 21 days. Wow, that's a long one. Nest cleanup. 3 days. Logistic points. Let's get that one going. Let's do our armies real quick here. Alright, we got any armies, any demon armies that we could beat up? Nines, got some eights over here. 10s, 11s, some 8s, 11. Let's go this way. Alright, let's see what we got here. If we want to swap anything out. These champions, we want to swap them out for, for these big time Hell Knight guys. Alright, let's do that. Let's get out of the thunderstorm here. That's where we want to go.
Follow me.
He's a dragon. You can't keep the alarm bell silenced forever. Hevolathamus, when it rings, the fury of the metallic dragons will descend upon you. Will protect the sacred child. I don't need to silence the bell. I'm going to destroy it, but you won't live long enough to witness its destruction. Stop! Stop him! The silver dragon tries to rise, but he is too weak. He's a priest of Dahak. He wants to take the child. I am Hakugal Ruzyapre, the protector of this cave. I beseech you, help me, vanquish him, protect the child. The black dragon turns slowly in your direction. There you are, Commander, right on time. We need to finish off this worm before more of them appear. What child? What are you talking about? The greatest treasure of dragonkind, that big long name, the divine offspring. He has been asleep in his egg for centuries, waiting to usher in a new era for dragonkind. Look at the bones scattered around you. These are the remains of those who fought for the right to keep the sacred child. And today, the metallic dragons will lose this right. The chromatic dragons will be the new guardians of the divine offspring. Lathamus, you're a dragon? Did you enjoy my little charade? I know how warm bloods feel about black dragons. I can't imagine the kind of reception I would have had if I appeared to you in my true form. But I didn't lie to you about my work. I wish to change the future of our kind. The metallic dragons are hiding away something that rightfully belongs to all dragons, and I am here to retrieve it. You've come to seize the child, to make him a monster, just like your master, Dahak. Do you think you can disguise your true intentions with all this talk of fairness? Your soul is rotten to the core. I have some questions. I will answer. Don't listen to him. I will tell you the truth. The truth, you are nothing more than a pawn. You do what you're told and play your role dutifully. You know nothing. Remind me, why is this child so important? Child is the subject of ancient legend. At the dawn of creation, at the beginning of time, two streams, order and chaos, came together and took form. They became the first dragons, and gave birth to the gods. But Dahak, the eldest son, fierce and proud, refused to share his power. He destroyed as many of his brothers and sisters he could, but one last egg was hidden on Galorian by his cowardly father, Apsu. No one knows what will hatch from it, a being of order, a being of chaos and destruction. But when it happens, the future of dragonkind will be changed forever. This child will herald the dawn of a new era. No one can say when he was destined to be born, and we will keep him safe, hidden in secret caves. Your your lot will never have the child. We won't let you corrupt him. We must raise him with love, teach him how to be kind and good, so that the world will prosper. This child is our future. Who said anything about corruption? Do you think my master, Dahak, was corrupted? No. He was born proud, raging, and free. So why are you certain the divine child will be anything different upon his birth? The metallic dragons believed the egg was hidden by the cowardly Apsu. But what if it wasn't Apsu? What if Master Dahak hid the egg instead? Perhaps he knew that one day a worthy ally would be born, an ally who would help him overthrow his father. Lathamus, you're a priest of Dahak? I serve the greatest of dragons, the rageful Dahak, son of Apsu, the one whose breath set hell aflame, the one who shall unseat his father and usher in a new age of Galorian, an age of glorious conflict. Doesn't the thought of it fill your soul with longing? At long last we will unleash pure rage, fury, and chaos in our hearts. We shall become free. Free? But at what cost? Galorian will be left in ruins. Why would you desire such freedom? No, mortal, don't let him. He wants to use the sacred child to destroy our world. What is the alternative? Order and restraint for all eternity. What a dull existence. You metallics are so terrified of soiling your shiny skins, you fear corruption, and you try so hard to always do the right thing. You spend months deliberating over the right course of action. Is this your idea of freedom? Ha! There is no freedom without chaos. Apsu made us slaves of order, but Dahak shall set us free, and the sacred child will help him break our chains. What does the bell do? The bell will send a signal to the metallic dragons. Its sound will let them know that the child is in danger. Their presence would complicate matters significantly. Trust me, a fight with them would be a lot harder than beating up a half-dead guardian. You can't break it. The bell's enchantment protects it against dragons like you. Enough. I want to ask something else. We'll make it quick. I still have some unfinished business to take care of. I will help Hakugo, the keeper, because I don't want death and destruction and chaos raining down on Glorian. I don't have enough strength to fight, but please defeat him and take the egg. You have my blessing. You'll pay for this, Commander. Oh,
Hmm? Oh, yes, what?
see if I can get a couple spells off before the battle starts. Oh, I can.
Struggles never cease.
Let me help.
Do not fear. Do not waver.
Yep, that one put us into battle. '51 AC, yeah.
Make your peace.
That we don't need on there because that's not going to do anything.
You won't survive me.
Let's give it a shot.
Nam er. Into the fray.
I will resist.
Well, let's get out of this acid fog, huh?
Endure this!
The Inheritor, guide my blade.
Prepare yourself.
All right. Well, before we check on the egg, I'm going to call it here. We're over that hour mark. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, like, subscribe, comment. We'll level up, obviously. It looks like we're going to level up. I have been Sir Joseph. As always, you guys have been awesome. Thanks again for watching. Until next time, stay safe out there, and I'll talk to you later.